Hi, I'm Maura Merrithew, co-founder of Merrithew Health and Fitness, along with my husband, Lindsay. For over 20 years, we've been dedicated to promoting the benefits of effective and responsible exercise to people of all ages, fitness levels, and abilities all over the world. This workout is designed specifically to enhance the performance of amateur and high-level athletes by focusing on initiating with the core in each movement. In this total body routine, we'll use the unique features of the V2 Max Plus Reformer to retrain unbalanced muscles and build strength and agility in the process. John Gary is going to help me with this routine. John is from Los Angeles, California, and is a master instructor trainer for Merrithew Health and Fitness. He is an integral member of our programming team, specializing in stop Pilates and athletic conditioning. He is also a featured instructor in many of our DVDs. Okay, John, let's get to it. We're going to begin with some footwork. So we're going to take the extensor straps and put them around the back of the thigh so we can get a little more activation of the hip extensors as we extend the knee. So we're just going to put the heels on the bar, 2.5 to 3 springs on the reformer, and we're going to add, with John, we have the 3-pound toning balls, okay, just to add an element of coordination to the footwork. So we're going to start with pec flies. Arms come out to the side. As you press out, just reach up towards the extensor straps and release. So as the tension's coming from up above now, John has to really work through the extensors, which actually helps you release through the front of the hip when you go into the extension of the knee. Also, is a great feeling around the knee to make sure you're really pulling up, using the vastus muscles, activating the knee extensors. From here, we're going to go into just straight arm lifts and reach up and release down. So we're really, by using the toning balls, bringing the whole element of the chain. It's not just focusing on the legs. We actually have to think about what our arms are doing and stabilize it with the core. From there, bicep curls and pull and in. Just 5 times here. Press, pushing into those heels, really activating through the hip extensors. And 4, one more time. Great. Let's go onto the balls of the feet, and we're going to repeat the same arm movement. So pec flies, reach, and 1. We'll speed up just a little bit, but really make sure that there's control through the knee extension. 2 more, John. From there, we go into just a straight arm lift, and reach. Very good. Reach. And nice long movement. You want to be careful that you're not jarring at the end. There's control. Wonderful. Then let's go into the bicep curl and pull. 3 more. And easy. No tension in the neck and shoulders. Wonderful. Single leg. So we're going to take the toning balls away. We're just going to have one leg on. Because we're on one leg, we're just going to go down to 200% springs. And let's start with the heel. So this is a great exercise to take care of any imbalances. So just press out 4 times, easy, just working through bringing awareness to the extension of the leg. Then from here, we're going to pulse it in. So really pulsing, almost like you're putting the brakes on, eccentric control as you come into a squat position, and then press out. Let's do that again, John, and pull it in. 2, that's it. Let's do 4, 3, 4, and press it out one more time. So you're putting the brakes on, really strengthening through the back of that hip joint. Wonderful, and press away. Let's do the other leg. So 4 times, just to get used to it. Press, controlling the carriage on the way out and on the way in. So you want to make sure that both concentric and eccentric muscular contractions are being focused on. Now we'll do our pulses. So we come in 1, 4 times, 2, 3, 4, and extend out with control. Pull it 1, 2, 3, 4. Now extend it with control. Let's do one more time. Really feel that hinge at the hip, pulling it in, just like a squat, staying very neutral, and come back in. We're going to do the same thing on the ball of the foot. So just 4 times, take it away, controlling how the knee is extending. Be careful not to lock back. Also really feel, again, the extensors working at the back of the hip. Now we're going to pulse it in and pull it in 4 times. 2, 3, 4, and press away. We're also watching the biomechanics of the ankle, making sure that everything is in good alignment. And press away one more time. Are you feeling your legs yet, John? Just getting a little warm up going here. And press away. Let's do the other leg 4 times. And press, nice and smooth. So as you're going out, be careful not to elevate the shoulders. Push into that bar and reach and pull it in. Reach, pull it in. Now with the pulse. And again, just like you're squatting. 2, 3, 4. Now lengthen with control and pull it in. 2, 3, 4, and then lengthen. One more set. Pull. 2, 3, 4. Press away. Wonderful, John. Now, really have to work through the ankle, okay? So let's go on to the ball of the foot on the other side. You're going to press out and do a lower and lift. Lower the heel. Now really push. Get a good length through the back of the ankle. Press up and bring it back in. Up to 4. So now we do it twice. Down, press. This is a great exercise for the ankle and the entire alignment of the hip, knee, and ankle. Each time you add one more. Very good. One more time. And press. Really push into the ball of the foot. Each time, press. Press, and come back in. Let's do the other leg. Even you up. And reach. Now we'll do a lower and lift at the end. Press. That's it. Very good. And 2. Really controlling. Feel the ball of the foot on the bar. 3 times. And press. Be very careful not to hyperextend through that knee. That's where the extensor straps are very helpful. And one more time. 4 times. That's it. Very good. 2 more. Really press through the ankle and come back in. Okay, going to take the metal pole. We're going to add a little bit of an extra challenge here, still on the 2 springs. And we're just going to put it through the loops. And make sure when they're through the loops that they're in good alignment with the pulleys in the back. And on the V2 Max Plus, what we've done is we've taken and put the rope up through a little higher pulley, so number 11 if you have the V2 Max Plus, and this gives us a nice line of pull so that John isn't overworking through the upper traps, and he's getting a little more activation now in the upper middle back and the lats. So from here, let's just begin with a scapula isolation, bringing awareness to the upper middle back. So from here, just press up and reach. So it's quite fine that the straps are hitting because that gives you something to press against, to feel a tactile cue during your scapula isolations. Very good, John. And one more time, reach. That's great. Now we're going to do unilateral. So just reach the one arm and pull it in. Being very careful as you reach and protract that the shoulder isn't elevating. Let's do 2 more. And down, 1 more. Very good. And then the other side. So the alignment stays completely neutral of the spine, and we just allow that shoulder blade to protract and retract very smoothly because we want to make sure that they're mobile but stabilized. Now we're going to go on to a tricep press, the mid-back series. So we're just going to press the legs and arms away and reach. So just triceps. Now you want to make sure that the rhythm here is good, that there's a balance. If you start to actually push the legs first, you lose the tension on the arms. So there's a fine balance there. One more time. So we're going to just make it a little bit more difficult. Now you're going to flex the upper body up as you reach, press, 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 and release it down. Good. And slide the ribs towards the pelvis. And 2, very controlled. Careful not to jam the chin into the chest. And 3, one more time. Great, John. Reach. So let's challenge a little more now. We're going to stay flexed. So come on up and 1. And flex the knees and the elbows. 2. And 3. And last time, 4. Reach, reach, reach. And release down. Very nice. Let's take the extensor straps off. And I'm sure that's a relief. And we're going to go on to a bend and stretch. So we'll take the pole out as well. I'll just put that back here. And you're going to have 2 springs on. And still, let's have the pulley on number 11, so we get a nice actual activation through the back of the legs. When we have the tension coming from the lower pulleys, then what happens is we have a little more activation through the extensors as we're pressing away. As you start to lift the tension up, the hamstrings have to work a little harder, because you're getting pulled more this way. And as we go along, you'll see having that tension higher with the legs will also have to make John work a little harder through the abdominals. Okay, so from here, all we're going to do is just bend and press away. We're going to do a few of these, and then we're going to go on to a unilateral. But let's get the feel of the pulleys first. Press and press, that's it. And reach, just do 2 more, and reach, and reach. Now let's do it laterally rotated. So we're just warming up the hip joint, and really squeeze the heels together. You should really feel the adductors. Are you feeling your adductors, John? And reach. Only go as low as you can control through your lower back and spine. Keep the abdominals really working to stabilize. Perfect. Now keep the legs out. Go parallel. We'll just do a lift and lower. So now you really should feel a little more activation through the hamstrings with the pulley, a little bit higher, and reach. Perfect. Just really hinging at the hip. So you want to really work on creating that hip joint so that there is a flexion and extension at the hip and it's not coming from the lower back. Okay, now bilaterally, he looks pretty good, and you'll probably notice you feel quite strong. So we're going to challenge that a little more, because we do a lot of unilateral leg work, and no matter what we're doing. So we're going to actually switch our straps, and we're going to go down onto 1 spring, because we're using 1 leg. And you're going to have the opposite strap on your leg. So now you really have to control, and the deep stabilizers of the spine have to control from being pulled into rotation, because that pull is pulling John over this way. You'll feel that as you lie on the reformer, so try to stay really centered. Let's just do a bend and stretch 4 times just to get used to that. So you'll feel also that the legs wanting to be pulled across the body. So we have to focus here now a little more on the abductors. So this is a great exercise for a lot of us, because these muscles tend to let us down in sports, or even just for me walking down the street sometimes. Okay, let's go on to a lift and lower. So you reach up with control and press away 4 times. Reach and press away. 2 more. Reach. Actually, this should feel great though, doesn't it? Would you say anything else? And now we're going to alternate. We've got to get that neuromuscular connection in here now. Reach. Very good, John. Up. Press and flex. Reach. 2 more sets. Wonderful. Press and in. Reach. Up. Press. Let's do 1 more and flex. Reach and stretch. So in the beginning, it'll feel a little bit like this. You can keep it slow and then start to add a little more speed as you get familiar with it. So let's do, and as long as you're controlling it, right? Control at all times. All right, just getting used to this side. Now you'll feel one side will feel a little different than the other usually. Let's just go into the extension of the knee 4 times. Really feeling the work round the hip joint as you flex and extend. Perfect. And you're staying very stable. That's great. Then from there, let's go into the straight leg. Really hinge. And this is also a really nice length for the hamstrings, all of them. That's great. Be very careful though that as you bring that leg up that you're not going into flexion of the lumbar spine. You really want to work from the hip extensors and not from the lower back. And then we're going to go into alternating this. So we have to concentrate a little more. Flex the knee, reach, and come up. 4 sets. And reach away, flex, and up. So you can see John now is adding plantar flexion and then dorsiflexion. So once you've got the coordination of it, you can start to add in the plantar and dorsiflexion, which is really important to actually make it a little more functional and get a great length through the back of that leg. Now we're going to go on to the short spine. So we're going to actually come back to 2 springs and even out so that you're not totally crossed. I'll put another spring on. Put your feet into the loops, please. Now you want to start in a very neutral position and legs are extended. Whenever you're extending the legs, make sure that you still have control through the lower back, and you might need to slightly imprint, not jam the lower back into the mat, but keep a connection, especially with those obliques. Now, we're going to place your head pieces down because you're going onto your neck and shoulders. It is going to be a little more difficult with the pulleys here. When we had them lower, as the legs come over, that helps you get up. Now as they're a little higher, you actually have to work harder. Okay, let's get started. Inhale, bring the legs up towards you. Exhale, peel off, reach all the way up. Very nice. Inhale, bend the knees, keep the heels here. Now roll, this should feel great. Roll away from your spine. When you can't go any further, pull down, make sure that you're nice and neutral and press away. Parallel, the legs come up towards you. That must feel good. Would you say any other? Reach and bend the knees. Now just roll away from the straps, pull the feet down to the seat, press away. If you're finding that you're having to, you can continue on, John. If you're finding that you're starting to stress through your neck and shoulders, just don't roll up onto the lower back. So just start by doing the leg movement because you shouldn't feel a lot of tension. And you want to make sure that you're in control of the carriage. As John's legs are going over, he's controlling the carriage to return to that carriage stopper. Pull and press. Let's do one more time. So from here, he's continuing to control, letting the carriage get into the stopper and then roll away. Wonderful, because you want to be very careful, especially when you're going up on the neck and shoulders, that you have control of the carriage. Nice, John. Let's move right along. We're going to go on to using the push-through bar. A kneeling psoas, stretch with a lat pull. Actually, we're going to be working the psoas and doing a lat pull. So we'll move the extension straps, and we're going to put a push-through spring on. Thanks, John. And we'll just move the push-through bar up. And 2 springs. And just 1 spring on the reformer, so we'll just take that one off. Okay, so you're going to be on one knee with the other foot onto the metal rail. So what you might need to do, depending on how long your arms are, you might need to move your carriage stopper a little further away if you have long arms, or you might need to, sometimes, because I have short arms, I actually have to move it closer to the push-through bar. So from here, let's just do a lat pull. So all we're going to do, activate the lats, inhale to prepare, exhale, press down. That's it. So from the abdominals, exhale, press. As you're pulling down on that bar, you want to be lengthening up through the ears. Very nice, John. And exhale, this should feel great. You should feel the energy right down from the knee all the way up through the top of the ears. Now, once you've got everything recruited, as you pull down, you're going to just pull that knee under into a neutral position. Careful not to flex in the spine, and release. So you want to think of coming into a neutral position. Very nice. And release. So we're using the push-through bar here to help activate the abdominals as we're isolating the hip joint. 2 more. Isolate the hip joint. 1 more, very nice. And be careful, there is that temptation though, as that leg pulls under to start, can you show this, John, to start to flex the lower back. We just want to really activate through the hip extensors and bring that hip joint into a neutral position. Let's do the other side. So a slight lunge. We're starting with the hip in a slight extension. Let's actually do a few more lat pulls on this side just to get the activation now. Now we have the other leg forward. All our muscles around the spine are having to readjust and try to stabilize at this point. Let's do 2 more and pull 1 more time. Okay, now really lengthen up from here. Think almost of lifting and pulling that knee underneath, being very careful that you don't go into flexion, and come to a neutral hip joint and release. And think of lifting up as that knee's coming underneath you. 2 more and reach. Very nice, John. 1 more time. Wonderful. Let's move on. we're going to place both knees onto the carriage. And what we're going to do is a reverse knee stretch. So just hinge back, activate, make sure you're really stable through the shoulders. Now you want to use your abdominals and flex the spine and press the knees to the end of the carriage. Wonderful, John. Just on one spring here. And exhale, pull it under. Very good. So you can see there's articulation through the spine, very strong through the lats, and press. Now 2 more, and reach, and pull it under one more time, reach, and release. Now place your right hand into the middle of the bar, and we're going to work the obliques. Same thing now. Press to the back and open up through the front. Wonderful. Let's do that one again. And exhale, reach. This actually feels great, and it looks impressive. Let's go on. We'll do one more because you look like you're really into it. And roll back and bring it in. Now let's just do 2 to even you out again in the middle. And exhale, flex through and roll back one more time. And you can see John staying very long through his neck. Then bring the left hand into the middle, and abdominals really work, and reach. Great, John. And exhale, use the breath, power. So the power is really coming from the abdominals. And reach. Let's do one more set. So 2 in the middle just to regroup. And exhale, a little quicker now, reach. And 1, and pull. And 2, right arm comes to the center, and stretch and reach. Very good. And exhale, push and reach. Push that carriage to the end. Let's do 2 in the middle. Press the carriage to the end. And up, good, and power. This is power also from the pelvis, extensors, everything's working. And reach, and wonderful, and reach, and very good. Well done. From there, we're going to go on to some work with the pulley exercise, with the pulleys. Pulley exercises using the pulley. All right, a supine psoas pull. So we are really working, having to stabilize with the psoas. And we're going to move the pulleys up to the top. And to do that, we actually also have to lengthen the ropes. So you unhook from underneath, take it up to cover number 1, and we're actually going to just bring the D-ring of your loop, because this is always a question that we get. How long should the ropes be? If you bring this D-ring down to seat number 10, just below number 10 here, then you should find that it's a great length for all the exercises that we're going to do next. So then we just pop this under the wire and